Welcome back. It is a situation we continue to see and report on: teens and young people engaging in violence. In the last month alone, a 14-year-old boy was stabbed to death and a 16-year-old girl still recovering after a school brawl. Well, now there is a new path being laid to take the fight from the streets to the ring, and excited to talk about this. So joining me now, James Clark with the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis and three-time world boxing champion and St. Louis native Devin Alexander. Both of you, thank you so much for being here. James, I want to start the conversation with you because we've talked before, and you have spent a lot of time over the years investing and trying to help, guide some of the young people in our communities, and you have been outspoken about the concern of violence when it comes to our youth. Those instances we just talked about and what we've kind of seen over the last month, what has been your reaction to just some of those just devastating and fatal incidents that we have seen when it comes to fighting on our streets?
Well, that's a good question, Corey, and thanks for having us.
Yeah.
We have overlooked some of the fundamental needs of our young people, and we have taken our eye off of what they have been crying out for. They need opportunities. They need healthy recreational opportunities. They need to be listened to. And then we've got to be able to be proactive. When James Clark was growing up in the Jeff Vanderloo neighborhood, the neighborhood was solid. Because of drugs, because of the breakdown of the family, now our neighborhoods are no longer nurturing. So we've got to be able to really assess what is going on and look at this very slippery slope that we find ourselves on now. And we've got to take a deeper dive into our neighborhoods and into our schools.
And what I like about this conversation is both of you are focused on solutions and how can we help address this situation in a positive way and give alternatives for kids. So, Devin, why is it important for you to give back in this type of way when it talks about the training that you've been doing with some of the kids in our communities?
Why is it important? Oh man, it's the ultimate thing I must do because I understand. I understand what these kids are going through. I grew up in an impoverished neighborhood, drugs, gangs, a lot of fighting, killings. I heard shooting every night. So it is my duty as a three-time world champion that made it out to come back and help these kids. I already told God that if he was to ever let me facilitate something for these kids, I'm coming back, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
That's amazing. And this weekend is the Devin Alexander's Amateur Boxing Invitational Classic, and there are some events that are leading up to that event, specifically that are targeting our youth. So can you talk a little bit about those events and really kind of the goal what those events are?
Well, we are very excited to have Toby Wright, former Rams star. We are very excited to have Kerry Davis, St. Louis native, and also Lawrence Maroney, two former NFL players who are very interested in being a part of the solution. God gave them sports as a way out, and just as Devin sees it, they see how important it is that they lend themselves right now. We are in a very, very trying time, so we will be over speaking with the athletes at Vashon High School Friday. It's not open to the public, but we're going to have some very intimate conversations, and they can ask them anything that they want because we've got to give them a roadmap. We've got to give them a blueprint on how they can become successful in life. All of them are not going to become professional athletes, but there are some fundamental things that they need to hear from achieved athletes to help them make decisions as they're going through and trying to navigate being young at a very challenging time.
And Devin, as a three-time world champion boxer and someone that young people really look up to, for our audience that's watching and young people and families that are watching, what is your message to the youth in our communities?
So my message is that never, ever let your circumstance dictate your future. Yes, you grow up in poverty, you grow up in around guns, gangs, and all. Yes, it's terrible. No fault of your own, but you don't have to stay there. The hard work, dedication, consistency, and God, you can do anything you want to do. And I want them to see me as a success story, because I was around a lot of young men that was way more talented than me. The difference was I worked hard, I stayed consistent, and I stayed the course. So just tell these kids to stay the course, believe in yourself,
Yeah.
and you can be whatever you want to be, whatever it is.
Great. And I know the Urban League of Metropolitan St. Louis, you guys have a lot of things planned for the spring and summer to get youth involved and off the streets, if you will, and kind of keep a positive vibe out there. And I'm guessing you can find that information on Urban League's website?
Yes.
Okay.
We're excited about taking the Grill to Glory program and expanding it, where neighborhood churches will begin to host activities for young people. Our reroute program, a partnership with St. Louis County Juvenile Courts, is doing some amazing things. So we're very optimistic, but we have to take a much deeper dive. We have to be a lot more hands-on with our young people, because they're crying out for help right now like never before.
We're focused on solutions.
Yes.
Both of you, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being here. Really appreciate the conversation. And